Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Unit 1.3 Notes, Part 3. Today we're continuing our discussion about solving multi-step linear equations. Our learning target today is to be able to solve complicated linear equations with variables on both sides. Okay, now before we get started, we've got a warm-up, and I would like you guys to pause it and try it on your own. Now notice that it says solve the following equations, give exact answers, and no decimals. So why don't you pause the video and try A, B, and C all by yourself. Okay, now for those of you who said, oh, Mr. Grice, this is kind of tough. Can we do this together? Yes, we can, but first, why don't you guys check to see if you got them right? Okay, so those are the answers. Now, let's go ahead and do this together. If you guys got it right, go ahead and skip this part. Okay, first thing we need to do is add 3 to both sides to get the n by itself, and we get n equaling -9. Okay, that one wasn't too hard. B, we have to subtract that 7 first, following inverse operations. 6 minus 7 is -1, and then times by 3 to both sides, and we get x equals -3. Not too bad. Now, C, a little bit more complicated. First thing we have to do is we have to distribute, okay? And so we get 6, and -7 minus 2 is +14, and -7 times r is -7r. Okay, let's go ahead and combine your like terms, and we get 20 minus 7r equals -8. I have to subtract that 20 to both sides, and we get -7r equals -28, and then divide by -7 to both sides, and -28 divided by -7 gives us a grand total of 4. Okay, how'd you guys do? All right, well, hopefully you did well. If not, that's why we go over this stuff. Now, solve the following multi-step equations, give exact answers, no decimals, and reduce fractions. Okay, now on the side you can tell that I've given some of the answers for those of you who feel like you can do this on your own. Otherwise, we are going to go through each one of these individually. Okay, now I want to look at the left side and the right side kind of individually. And let's go ahead and we've got those parentheses, but the first thing we need to do is to distribute. Okay, so -3 times 2 gives me -6. -3 times -1 gives me +3. Okay, now on the right side, we can combine our like terms, and we get -4x plus 7. Now, if you look at our note from the very top, it says cancel the variable with the lesser value coefficient. All right, so I'm looking at -6 and -4, and which one is smaller? Okay, the smaller variable is the -6. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides, and then we get 3 equals 2x plus 7. We do that because now we've got a positive variable, and when we subtract, we get -4 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2, and then we get -2 equals x. Okay. All right, let's go to the other side. Problem number 2. On the right side, I'm going to combine my like terms, and we get 4w minus 8. And on the right side, we need to distribute. And when we distribute, we get -18 plus 10w. Okay? So I need to move the smaller variable. So my variable is on one side, I get negative 8 equals negative 18 plus 6w. Add 18 to both sides. And we get 10 equals 6w. And the last step is to divide. And now 10 over 6, we can divide both of those by 2. And that's where our final answer of 5 over 3 equals w comes from. Okay. All right, let's move on down. 3. On the right side, I need to distribute that positive 8 to both sides. And we get negative 7. 8 times 5 is positive 40 and negative 24w. And we need to distribute that 3 on the right side too. 3 times 7 is 21. And 3 times 9 is 27w. Okay? On the right side, I need to combine my like terms. And we get 33 minus 24w equals 21 minus 27w. Okay, so looking at the two variables, which one's smaller? Well, that would be negative 27. So we're going to add 27w to both sides. And then we get 33 plus 3w equals 21. Okay? And now we're going to subtract 33 to both sides. And we get 3w equals negative 12. And divide both sides by 3. And we get w equals negative 4. Okay, number 4. We've got a lot to do on each side. We have to distribute on both of them. Why don't you guys pause the video and see if you can do the first couple of steps all on your own. Okay, so after distributing and combining like terms, we get 7y minus 6 equals negative 6y plus 20. Okay, so I'm going to move the smaller variable to both sides. And now we get 13y minus 6 equals 20. We have to add 6 to both sides. We get 13y equals 26. And then dividing both sides by 13, that's where we get y equals positive 2. Okay. How'd you guys do? Did you do all right? All right, number 5. Don't freak out, guys, because there's variables there, okay? It's not that bad. Okay, fractions. If you need them, use your calculator, okay? We have to do 1/3, oops. 1/3 times 21, we get 7. And when you do 1/3 times 18, you get 6. On the right side, we are distributing a negative 2. And so we get negative 2x plus 10. On the right side, we need to combine our like terms. So we have 7x plus 6 equals negative 2x plus 33. Okay? So let's go ahead and move the smaller variable, which is the 2x. Okay? And when we do that, we get 9x plus 6 equals 33. Okay? Now, the rest of it, it's subtract the 6 to the other side. We get 9x equals 27. And then to get the x all by itself, we need to divide by 9. And then that's where our final answer of x equals 3 comes from. Okay? Remember, just because they're fractions doesn't mean you guys get to be like, oh, I don't want to do this, Mr. Grice. It's too hard. Okay? You'll do fine. All right, number 6. Let's see how you guys are doing. Okay, the answer's on the right-hand side. Go ahead, pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so we had to distribute the 1/4 to both sides, and you get 3m plus 4. And on the other side, we had to distribute the -3. So -3 times m is -3, and -3 times -2 gives us +6. Okay? So from then, we combined our like terms to get 16. We had to move the smaller variable, so I moved the -3m, so we did the inverse, which is adding 3 to get 6. Subtract 4 to both sides, and you get 12. And then divide by 6, and we get our final answer of m equaling 2. Okay, so now guys, we're going to need our calculator. So go ahead and make sure that that is ready to go. Okay? Okay, so I'm ready to go. Let's go ahead and start by drawing the line down the middle to see both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, gotta get my sides right, we have to distribute a -2. Okay? So I have -2 times 4.36, which gives us -8.72. Okay, and then I have to do -2 times -6.92, which gives us 13.84, and that is a positive 13.84. Now, everything on the right side stays the same. The only thing is I forgot my m. Okay, so now we have to move the smaller variable, which is the 9.27, so I'm going to subtract that to both sides. Those cancel. I'm going to start writing everything else down, and 13.84 minus 9.27 gives us 4.57. Okay? And now, see guys, we're doing the exact same steps, even with decimals, okay? So don't freak out. 3.87 plus 8.72 gives us a grand total of 12.59. And the very last step would be to divide both sides by 4.57, divide by 4.57, and we get m equaling, so 12.59 divided by 4.59, 2.742. Okay, and then when we round that, uh-oh, looks like we got something different than Ms. Carranza. Okay, so what we would do first, we would double check that. When we round it, our rounding gives us 2.74. So what I would do is let's go back to make sure we got all of our numbers right. Okay, so we have -2 times 4.36, which gives us -8.72. Okay, and -2 times -6.92 gives us -13.84. Okay, we subtract the 9.27, and that gives us 4.57, so that's right so far. 3.87 plus 8.72 gives us 12.59. So we're doing all that right, guys. And divided by 4.57, No, did I just write down the wrong thing? Maybe Mr. Grice made a mistake somewhere. What did I do? Who knows? Everything looks right, doesn't it? Okay, so we get 7, 5, 4, and there we go. When we round the 4, the 5 stays. Okay, but guys, see how easy it is to make a mistake? Mr. Grice just made one. Okay, so that's why you got to be very, very careful. All right. Now, number 8. There's nothing to do on the left side, so we can just kind of rewrite that down. And on the right side, we need to distribute 0.35. So we get 0.35y plus, we have 0.35 times 2, which gives us 0.7. Now, we got to move the smaller variable. If you don't know, that is a 1y, okay? So we need to subtract the 0.35y minus 0.35y, and 1 minus 0.35 gives us 6.5. Okay. And now we cancel subtraction with addition. Add that to both sides, and we get 0.65y equaling 0.7 plus 0.45, get 1.15. And then the last step is to divide by 0.65 to get the y all by itself. And then we get our answer of y equaling 1.769. And the last step would be to round to the second decimal. And that's where we get y is rounded 1.77. All right, we're doing good so far. And actually, that's it. I should have made you guys do that all by yourself. Okay? Now, below is your homework. Whoop. Okay? Make sure to read the directions. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. But otherwise, that's it for Algebra Notes, Chapter 1.2 Notes, Day 3. Thanks for watching.